So as in any manufacturing environment, one of the most important things that we always want to lead off with is your safety. And as you may or may not know, machine shops have a lot of equipment that move automatically. They have a lot of heavy duty horsepower. You have compressed air, you have coolant, you have sharp chips. All of these components can cause serious injury if you're not careful in following these proper safety rules. There's a safety rule sheet that's also on the website in your first day handouts that kind of lists the different things. I will go over just a few of them, but just understand that even in a college environment where it's an educational environment, a lot of accidents can happen just the same. As a matter of fact, I personally believe that accidents in a college environment you could be more prone to it because professionals that do it day in and day out, they kind of have the muscle memory, I'll call it, where they already understand the dangers of things. And even though accidents happen out in industry all the time, I think that it's the sheer volume of industry. That's why you'll probably have a higher number of incidences. But within a college environment, you have people that are not that experienced, and so they tend to make these mistakes that can get them in serious trouble. So obviously the first rule anytime you're in a machine shop is to wear proper safety gear, like safety glasses. We provide those when you're in the lab so that your eyes are protected, and they have to be a polycarbonate that wraps around. If you have long hair, we have you tie your hair back, because there have been several accidents with hair that gets caught up in spindles like drill presses, what we call open bed machines. Jewelry, you wouldn't think maybe the jewelry could cause an issue, but it actually can. Let me lay this down here for a second. It's something as simple as a ring. If you get your hand into a machine and maybe you're just resting it on a vise is something that we use to hold a part steady and in a static position on a milling machine and other types of machines that we have here. It's very easy to get caught up on those types of vices or those types of apparatuses because they have nice sharp square corners. So besides getting cut from them, a ring could get caught on the corner of something, and because we're working with automated machines like the one behind me here, the CNC mill, it's very easy to get a watch or a ring or even a necklace to get caught around a turning spindle and cause some type of an injury to you. Long sleeves can do the same thing. When you have long sleeves, or you're wearing a sweater or a sweatshirt, or you have the little drawstrings on a hoodie, those are all potential catch items that can get caught up in a machine. These machines are very unforgiving, and they're very powerful, and they have caused a lot of injuries throughout the years. In addition to that, we don't wear gloves when we're around machines that rotate and reciprocate. Gloves are a safety item, but they're to be used around the proper equipment, the correct equipment. Maybe picking up something heavy or sharp or slippery, that's a good time to wear a pair of gloves, but never when you're around, let's say something like a bandsaw or anything that reciprocates or rotates that can actually catch that glove and cause injury. Always check the equipment, obviously, before you get onto it, because you want to look for something that might be loose, maybe a guard that's not properly in place, or maybe somebody accidentally left a tool or a wrench somewhere that could be caught up and hit by the spindle, and that could be launched back at you. Right? Be aware of who's around you. You might be a very, very safe person, but you're working around somebody that isn't, and maybe they're doing something that can cause injury not only to themselves, but to you as well. You want to make sure that you treat the machine shop with respect in terms of it's not a playground. You don't want to be doing things that could endanger anybody. And it's always important too to keep your areas as clean as possible. And the reason for that is that chips and oil that can accumulate on the floor and onto the machines can also be a potential for injury if you slip on those chips or on that oil. And it also just makes it a more organized and more efficient work experience. And so knowing where the exits are in case there's an emergency, if a fire breaks out, or there's some type of a chemical spill, those are important as well, to kind of know where your exits are. And at any time the power could go out, and then this room could become very, very dark, or the room that you're in, and you want to have an idea of where these safe exits are. Most of them are lit with an exit sign, and those exit signs remain lit even when the power goes out. But I can tell you in this particular machine shop, We also have a couple of exits that are not marked as exits because they're not really considered it, but think about other ways of being able to get out of potential harm. Like for instance, we have overhead garage doors that can be opened up and we can go out there if, let's just say, an exit is blocked. So that's really the basics of safety rules. Obviously, common sense is the best safety rule. If you think you're doing something that could cause some potential harm to yourself, well, obviously don't do it. And if you're not sure about something, then consult a professional or somebody that's in this environment like myself and ask that question so that we can guide you properly.